Forget your fancy digital doohickeys, vintage cameras are where it's at. They're like the classic cars of the photography world, full of character, quirks, and a certain je ne sais quoi. Plus, there's a certain satisfaction that comes with holding a piece of history in your hands and saying, yeah, I brought this bad boy back to life. Now you might be thinking, Jeremy, isn't fixing old cameras a right pain in the backside? And you wouldn't be entirely wrong, but trust me, the rewards far outweigh the challenges. It's like rebuilding a carburetor, frustrating as hell, but the sense of accomplishment when it's done, priceless. The best part, you don't need to be a mechanical genius to do it. With a bit of patience, the right tools, and maybe a stiff drink or two, anyone can learn to repair these beauties. So, put on your overalls, grab your toolkit, and let's get this vintage party started. Right, let's talk camera carnage. Vintage cameras, bless their cotton socks, are prone to a few mechanical hiccups. Think of them as charming eccentricities, like your eccentric old uncle who insists on wearing a monocle. First up, we've got shutter speed woes. Sometimes these old shutters get a bit lazy, firing too slow or not at all. Then there's the dreaded light leak, where unwanted light sneaks into your precious film like a paparazzo hiding in a bush. And let's not forget about fungus, the dreaded camera plague that can turn your lens into a fuzzy mess. Sounds scary, right? Don't worry, we'll exorcise those photographic demons in no time. Just remember, a problem shared is a problem halved. Unless it's a broken lens, then you're pretty much stuffed. Now for the fun part, getting our hands dirty. First things first, you'll need the right tools. Think of it as your surgical kit, minus the scary scalpels, unless you're feeling adventurous. You'll need a set of precision screwdrivers, a lens cleaning kit, a rocket blower, sounds fancy, but it's just for blowing dust, and a good magnifying glass. Once you're all tooled up, it's time to channel your inner mechanic. Start by carefully disassembling the camera, taking note of where everything goes. This isn't a jigsaw puzzle you want to solve twice. Clean the components gently, removing any dust, grime, or unfortunate insect carcasses. If you're dealing with fungus, use a specialized cleaning solution and a steady hand. Remember, we're aiming for resurrection, not accidental amputation. Section 4. Where to find parts, raiding your granddad's attic. Just kidding, sort of. Finding parts for these old-timers can be a bit like searching for the Holy Grail. But fear not, intrepid camera crusader, there are options. First, try online marketplaces like eBay. It's a treasure trove of vintage camera goodies, but be warned, it's also a breeding ground for scammers. Always check the seller's ratings and ask plenty of questions. If the online world isn't your cup of tea, try local camera shops or repair specialists. They might have dusty boxes of forgotten treasures just waiting to be discovered. And hey, if all else fails, you can always resort to the last resort, cannibalizing another camera for parts. Just don't tell the camera police. They get a bit funny about that sort of thing. Section 5, the joys of vintage, why it's worth the fuss. So you've wrestled with tiny screws, battled fungus, and emerged victorious. Now it's time to reap the rewards of your labor. Using a vintage camera is a truly unique experience. It's a slower, more deliberate way of shooting, forcing you to think about each shot and appreciate the mechanics behind the magic. And let's not forget about the cool factor. Imagine whipping out your vintage Leica at a party. You'll be the envy of every hipster and photography enthusiast in the room. Plus, the images you create will have a character and charm that's hard to replicate with a modern camera. It's like the difference between a handwritten letter and a text message. One is fleeting, the other a timeless treasure. Section 6, go forth and repair, you got this. So there you have it, folks. Reviving vintage cameras may seem daunting at first, but it's an incredibly rewarding experience. It's a chance to connect with the history of photography, learn new skills, and create something truly special. And who knows, you might even discover a hidden talent for camera surgery. Just remember, patience is key. Don't get discouraged if things don't go perfectly the first time. Even the best mechanics make mistakes. Just dust yourself off, grab a cuppa and try again. And most importantly, have fun with it. After all, it's not about achieving photographic perfection, it's about the journey and the joy of bringing these old beauties back to life. Now go forth and conquer those camera calamities.